please call the roll.
Trustee Gus.
Present.
Trustee Jensen.
Here.
Trustee Miller.
Here.
Trustee Addison.
Present. That sounded fun.
Oh, aren't we elegant tonight?
Trustee Sittig is absent. Trustee Wells.
Here.
Attorney Frollo.
Here.
Mayor Hucker.
Here.
And Clerk McDonald is present.
All right, if you would rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First up, we have public comment for anything that pertains to the agenda. There will be a second opportunity for public comment towards the end of the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board about agenda items? Sir? You can come up to the podium, and that way we can get you not only on film, but audio.
I'll break the camera.
He's got a face for radio.
David O'Rear, 9872 West Marguerite Lane. The change according to mailbox parking and that. I know the village has probably got enough ordinance to fill this room. If not half of it, that money we spent would more than fill that. Most of our ordinances are handled in a reactive. Our violations are handled in a reactive or proactive. So I understand that, you do a lot of this for your own protection. But what we do, we continue to do the ordinances and we do nothing with them. And enforcement of the ordinances is the lifeblood of the community. A lot of us residents of Zion back in when Zion was a beautiful little community. I was there a few years ago. I'm not telling my age for nobody. So, and what Zion did is, I don't want to tell them about it. We got a mayor that's really making a real effort to do something. But they went away from code enforcement. The next thing you know, they've got every two-story building in town is 3 or 4 apartments. Now they're trying to get away from that. So by being lax with it, I know it costs money. Being lax with it is what creates the problems. Now, we've got a new business going on Green Bay Road. Congratulate the village on getting that in there. But we will not support it as a village if we've got a yard full of parked cars, 3 boats sitting on the side. And this is the thing that makes it come in. We've had, time we've incorporated, we've had a good opportunity in this village. We've had good boards in this village that have worked hard to do with what we've got and make it work. I'm not giving John credit on the weather. No way. So I just want to say that if we get a little reactive rather than more proactive in code enforcement. And I don't mean nitpicking. If there's a problem, it should be addressed. Mark and I, he's worked with me in some problems that we've had in our area over there. It's probably, I would safely say 80% better than what it was 2 or 3 years ago. And it's taken a lot of time and a lot of work. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? All right. We shall then move on to our consent agenda, which includes the following items. The approval of the village board regular meeting minutes, January 2024, January 25th, I should say, 2024. Bills presented for payment in the amount of $224,379.64. And the December monthly community development report. Is there anything the board would have us consider separately? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by trustee Gust, second by trustee Miller. Discussion? All right. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Addison.
Aye.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to mayor's report. Our snow plowing crews have been doing an extraordinarily good job. It's, I mean, they even got my yard. And all the roofs and everything. So it's, keep up the good work. And I went by the salt barn, and you can say we put a lot of salt down, but there's a lot of salt sitting in that barn still. Yep, we haven't taken any deliveries yet this year, have we? Oh, boy. Okay. We may have to just start spreading it just to.
Have a salt sale.
Yes.
We could rent a bunch of storage garages and. fill
Oh, God. Remember when we were putting it in the Benton Township building? Oof. Okay, moving on to reports from trustees. First up, we got Finance Committee Trustee Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. As usual, I have nothing to report apart from the date of our next meeting, which is February 20th. That concludes.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gust.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just want to say our St. Patty's Day is going to be, function is going to be March 15th at Donnybrook Golf Course. And we are going to have lunch, raffles, Irish music. We are going to have limited seating, like Don always says. Food will be provided, and we will have entrees will be served at the table. No smorgasbord this time. There's going to be choice of corned beef, chicken marsala, and seared fish. And tickets are $25 a piece, and I hope to see 100, 150 people there. Come to the village, get your tickets. We can celebrate St. Patty's Day. And that ends my report.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, Planning, Building, Zoning Committee, Trustee Wells.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have one item for your consideration. We bring forth the motion to approve an amendment, section 10.08.010 of the Village Code to prohibit parking in front of mailboxes. And this was taken up at the Building, Planning, and Zoning Committee meeting held on January 30th of 2024. An amendment to the Village Code, which would prohibit parking in front of mailboxes, was discussed. This recommendation came after staff received a complaint about a vehicle parking in front of and blocking a resident's mailbox. Currently, there is no regulation in Beach Park code that prohibits a vehicle from blocking a mailbox. The Planning and Zoning Committee unanimously agreed that adding such a provision to the Village Code would be a benefit to the village residents and should be considered by the village board. And below is the revised code, and I think you all have a copy of that package, which states the content of that ordinance.
All right.
And I'd like to entertain that in the form of a motion.
Okay.
I'll
we have a
second
motion.
that motion, that emotion.
And we have a second of the emotion from Trustee Jensen.
To sing it if you're going to.
That's an old tune in my head, yeah.
All right, discussion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to the board to consider adjusting this language slightly. I've had exchange email with our administrator, and he satisfied me that there's been adequate research done that the postmaster doesn't have standards for this, apart from they won't deliver mail if they have to get out of their truck. And simply parking in front of it's not going to help unless there's enough clear space to get a vehicle up to the mailbox. So I'd suggest amending that to read within 10 feet of a mailbox or some distance that's amenable to the group. So that I never drove a mail truck, so I don't know how much space you need to get up to the box. And I think we should also consider deputizing Mr. Arrear to enforce that for us.
Other discussion? I know you were in the meeting, obviously. Can you shed any light on to whether that was considered or?
Yes, actually, the subject of the distance was discussed. The board, after consideration, they thought that the distance would probably create more of an issue because in some cases there's very limited parking, and that would knock out a number of parking spaces, particularly in some areas where you have limited parking already. June, the postmaster, the mail carrier
Yes.
will deliver as long as he has access to be able to get there in front. And he doesn't necessarily need 10 feet.
So will they actually get out of the vehicle if they can access the mailbox? If it's, I understand the frustration of the resident that called. My understanding is this isn't just a one-off. This is happening regularly, right? So they're not getting their mail. That's,
I don't know about regularly. How many complaints?
It was one, but he was mentioning that it's happened multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
He referred to the residents in the area. This is in Cambridge,
yeah, okay.
for which they had, again, as the trustee Wells has mentioned, limited parking already. So with the curb cuts in place that they have there, plus the distancing requirements, it may lead to a situation where there's not much available guest parking at all on the streets. Ideally, the situation was that if you can maintain 30 feet for a vehicle to pull up, 15 feet on either side. But I've seen village codes that stated 15 feet on either side, 10 feet on either side, 5 feet on either side, and then some that are silent, such as this.
Right.
And the other subject matter is then we have curvatures of the road to take into consideration, and we have to document the proof that it's 15 feet away or 5 feet away, and using a tape measure, taking a picture, all of that becomes much more challengeable in court.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
think during the meeting, it was mentioned that we could pursue the ordinance without a distance. And if there's a need at some future point in time, it becomes an issue where we think we need to revisit it, that could always be brought back before the committee or the board.
So at this point in time, if we have even an abandoned vehicle, what's maybe hasn't been classified as abandoned yet, but it's just parked in front of the mailbox and not moving, the village is basically powerless today to do anything about that until it becomes clear that it's an abandoned vehicle that we can then
Right.
have towed or whatever. So this would at least give some immediacy to the action if somebody calls and said, it's happening again, code enforcement can get over there, give a ticket for parking in front of a mailbox and move on. Okay, I don't know, any thoughts to add there, Trustee Jensen?
Well, yeah, I hadn't considered the situation in Cambridge. My own neighborhood, we have this issue. We have people that have, my neighbors have parties and lots of kids and obstruct the mailbox. And I have to, believe it or not, walk to my mailbox to get all the 2 pieces of junk mail I got today. And I consider that excessive, but
Yeah.
no, I seriously, I understand the issue, and you got fire plugs too, and I think we can't park in front of those, so
Yep.
that further restricts your place where you can park.
Yep.
I don't know if there's an easy answer, but not parking right in front of it, you park 2 feet one side or the other, it's obstructed.
Right.
The mailman's not going to deliver mail.
Actually, my deliverer, he he occasionally gets out. I think it depends on his mood,
Yeah,
but he gets out when he wants to. But as long as he can get to it, he'll pull up there on an angle.
Yeah.
And deliver it.
okay.
We could provide our code enforcement officer with a 10-foot pole, with the proverbial 10-foot pole that to measure it.
Dave, can you carry that in your car?
Tied on top.
Would that be awkward?
I also think that we would probably be putting additional responsibility on our staff that's already
Yeah.
kind of stretched pretty thin.
Yeah. This is one that could be addressed both proactively and reactively in the sense that, we would ticket someone parked in front of a fire hydrant that nobody's complaining about. But I'm certain the fire department has run into that already. And I know they have creative ways around it. But, all right. Well,
If I may, one more thought just came
Sure.
to mind, and that is, part of our code enforcement is education and not necessarily the punitive action.
mhm.
And with this on the books, we could certainly give, just as police officers do, warning ticket
Yep.
first time.
Mhm.
And the neighbors may not appreciate what they're how irritating that is to some of their neighbors or those that might be disabled or unable to get out or whatever. Don't want to get out of their car to get their mail.
Yep.
So perhaps, a warning of some sort might suffice if you're a good neighbor.
Yep.
If you're not, then a punitive ticket.
Okay. Well, I certainly think, as Trustee Wells said, we can enact this, let it ride for a little bit, see what happens. And if we have the need to go further, we certainly can. That certainly sounds reasonable. So, all right. Any other discussion on this lovely topic? All right. Well, then I guess I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Jensen,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Aye.
Trustee Addison,
Aye.
Trustee Wells,
Aye.
and Trustee Gust.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything further from?
That concludes my report, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. All right, Public Relations and Intergovernmental Committee, Trustee Miller.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just to remind everybody who probably has already digested this information, but it's worth saying again that starting next week, Sheridan Road is going to be grossly impacted by the construction project that's scheduled to start actually on Sunday. They have 211 on their giant sign that says that's when the road's going to be closed. It makes me wonder, does anybody know, are they going to close it Saturday? Because there's no sign as of yet.
No, they just sent out a mail today, and Pat, correct me if I'm wrong too, if you have anything to add, but no, 11 was initially the plan. What they do is they'll go out and they'll put it up the day before or the night, and so crews can start working. I mean, that's their normal routine, but in this case, we were told today that it will be closed Monday, starting Monday. So they're going to go out Monday and put the actual road closure in place. Next week, you can expect, what do we got, Pat? Tree removal, guardrail removal, and then the week after that, they're going to be doing the pavement, and so it'll be a all-out tear up. But we were told today Monday is when the closure is going to start. But when it's closed, it'll be closed.
Right.
I'm hearing from people, some of the people see it going one way and they think it's only on that side.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
they don't bother to look.
They put the one sign up in Winthrop Harbor, I believe.
Up by the
And
bowling alley.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
They've got them on 41 at
Yeah, the truck detour is 173 to 41 to 137. So, that's pretty significant for trucks.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean there's not going to be local trucks that are still going to have to
Right.
come and go. I mean,
Never mind people that live on Marguerite that want to go to McDonald's. They got to end up driving, 3 miles to get to McDonald's where it was normally a block.
That's what Uber Eats is for.
Yeah.
Mayor, if
You will have to, it might be quicker just to drive down to Waukegan to Grand and Sheridan. Might,
I don't interrupt. I'm not done.
oh boy.
Do we know, Mark, are they going to put, prior to people approaching Wadsworth and thinking that they're going to continue on, are they going to have like a big arrow directing them up west on Wadsworth? Do we know?
no, I don't know. Pat, do you know if they're to what extent?
They will have road closed signs,
Mhm.
it will be barricaded off.
Yeah.
But Wadsworth Road is not part of the detour, so there'll be no direction to come up Wadsworth. I know it'll be tried.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess everybody on Monday go somewhere else, go south
Yeah.
and don't take Sheridan Road. It's going to be a
Can't wait.
big adjustment for a long, long time, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I assume then we're also going to be working on the no through traffic for the adjoining streets on.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on that, Mayor, too. Folks should be ready to, have other impacts in the local traffic, depending on what we see and what's impacted. Pat and Public Works do have the signs ready to go. So as we see what's impacted, we'll be addressing that along the way, too. So.
Yeah.
And along that line, Mayor, I'd suggest if that gets to be a problem, that we use some of our discretionary law enforcement funds to police that. How you're going to police it, unless you follow it through, I don't know. But at least to a presence, a law enforcement presence there off and on
Yeah.
at rush hour especially.
Yeah.
To discourage that cut through.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy. I've talked to numerous people that live on the Talmadge, Gish, Liberty North cut through. Taking that occasionally just for a change of scenery is one thing, but regular traffic doing that to save 5 minutes of driving around, that's going to make it miserable for everyone. So.
Well, we've seen that with accidents on Sheridan Road in that area, and it's insane.
Yep.
Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper, yep. And how that feels like it's going to be faster than going to a stoplight and taking anyway.
I assume the department and the police department are aware of what's taking place Monday.
They are now. At the last meeting, we talked about it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would hope the ambulance routes are
Yeah.
adjusted and that sort of thing.
Well, they can't take them to Vista anyways.
Yeah, true. Gotta take him to AIH.
Yeah. Topic of bad news, right?
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay, well, that's all I have tonight.
thank you very much. Trustee Siddick is not here. I'm not aware of any public safety issues to address. Move on to Public Works. Trustee Otterson has asked that he not be asked to present this, and the attorney concurred, seeing as he is still an employee of the HMG. So this is a modification to the existing contract with HMG for street design and construction services for the 2024 MFT street maintenance project. Previously, we had approved $58,000 for design and bidding services and $61,300 for construction services provided by HMG. After reviewing the costs of the 2023 MFT resurfacing program, it was noted that the entire project was under budget. Therefore, staff and HMG have identified additional streets that could be added to the design construction phase of the 2024 MFT program using the money saved from the 2023 project. The additional program scope has resulted in the need for a task order modification to a previously approved engineering services agreement. Public Works Committee recommended the revised scope and a revised task order. So essentially, we're adding $8,000 to the design portion and $13,000 to the construction oversight portion. Have I done an adequate job of explaining that? Okay.
Sounds like a bargain.
It's such a deal. And for those that are keeping score, the roads being added amount to a portion of North Avenue, a portion of Pickford Avenue, Oak Drive, and North Avenue Tower Drive, which is the driveway for the water tower. So with all that said, do we have a motion?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution number 2. Is there any discussion?
It says North Avenue. What part of North Avenue?
Beach Road to Pickford.
Beach
Okay.
to Pickford?
North all
Just
the way
that
to
stretch.
Pickford, and Pickford is a dead end.
Yeah, okay,
Got it.
thank you.
And the water tower driveway.
Yep. Okay. Other discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Otterson.
I will abstain.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else from Public Works?
No, for the first time though, I see maybe there's a chance that I didn't vote on this contract. Maybe after tonight, I may be involved in the contract and be here watching some of the work because it will no longer be prohibited. So
Why is that?
I may get to spend more time in the village.
Why wouldn't it be prohibited, Mark? Do tell.
The mayor is firing me. Let's have multiple choice. Either the mayor's Or I'm so upset about Sheridan Road getting shut down that I can't stand the thought of it, so I moved to Wisconsin
Okay,
because they never close roads in Wisconsin.
right.
So no, tonight's my last meeting. The mayor has my resignation in his hand because my lovely wife and I have purchased a home in Pleasant Prairie, and we've already moved last week.
You're leaving the land of Pritzker?
Yes.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
still do own a house here, and if anyone's interested, let me know.
Well, Mark asked that we not have any pomp and circumstance about this whole deal, and I said, well, there's going to be pomp, but I promise no circumstance. So I do have a lovely parting gift. And as your wife is here, maybe she could join us in the foreground here, because she doesn't come to our meetings often, and I haven't been able to.
Now that you're putting her on the spot, I bet she won't come anymore.
I haven't been able to embarrass her, so I mean that's my key function here. It's right in my job description to embarrass whenever possible.
At least it's not my birthday. He's going to say.
I'm not singing. Please come up here and join me. Now, these are all wrapped up in a really lovely way, but these are for you for tolerating Mark. I mean, for tolerating
Never
Mark's
been home.
work with the village and for these last 20 years. And we have this lovely plaque that says, with our heartfelt appreciation, we honor Mark Patterson. Oh, okay. We have the sincere recognition and deep gratitude in the Village of Beach Park for the service and leadership that you have provided for over 20 years. We had a plan commission. Your passion, loyalty, and talents were invaluable. And the mayor and board of trustees. So, thank you. And this is to hang on your wall in perpetuity. In a very prominent spot. And
You'll have to get clearance from her.
when I come to your house, I will be taking a picture of this for the rest of the board to see. So that's for you.
Yeah.
No, that's the other upside.
It's hiding it.
Oh, yeah, this board is.
All right, all right.
When you asked me the other day if Diane was going to come, she had figured that was just because, well, if she's coming, there'll be cake.
There will be cake and cookies if you make it to the end of the meeting. And if you can't wait that long, I'll look the other way, but, so, yes. All right, well, just a couple heartfelt words, because I can think back to the day when I met Mark the first time, was after a board meeting. And then Mayor Jensen introduced us and said, you know, you're not going to believe this guy. He works for the county. I'm like, well, yeah.
Strike one.
Yeah. He says, and he actually watches the county board meetings on cable TV, all of them. And I'm like, something wrong with that guy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But in all seriousness, Mark, you've been a huge asset to this village. You've been your expertise, your willingness to serve and make sure things are done. It's going to be very tough to replace you. And someone said something about filling big shoes. Well, I mean,
Big everything.
yeah.
Linda was so upset she didn't even come.
I know. She was heartbroken. So.
I'm sure she's watching. She's waving with just the one.
She's
thing.
waving, yeah. Oh, boy.
I appreciate the kind words. It's been fun. I've learned a lot. Hopefully been somewhat functional in some of
I
the.
hear there's an election coming up in Kenosha, you know.
That's just what I need. But I mean, I remember Milt. Well, I got a call from Gina twice. First one was the mayor wants to meet you for coffee at Emily's or whatever it was, Happy Bills at the time or whatever. And I was like, oh, geez, what have I done? That's when he wanted to put me on the Planning and Zoning Commission. And then a year and a half later, I got another phone call that somebody was leaving and he wanted to appoint me to. And he's like, well, Public Works is all you've done all your life, so it'll probably be a good fit. And I was like, okay, we'll see. So I think the sewers are still flowing.
Yeah.
And the water's not chunky, so it's drinkable. So
Yeah.
It's been a good run.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I do look forward to maybe coming and being the inspector on some of the projects.
Yeah.
in town, you know.
You
going-
know a little bit about the area.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know a little bit about you. But you're all in good hands, don't worry about it. And Tracy, she's a neighbor, so she'll keep me posted. So
Very
that
good.
concludes my final Public Works report.
All right. Thank you, sir. We have no report from the TIF committee as it has not met. And we have one item under staff reports. Looks like we're going to be changing the quantity of liquor licenses.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. The marathon located at southwest corner of Green Bay and Wadsworth. Liquor license expired. They were granted 6 months because of a lease issue, but never obtained full ownership of the property or a renewed lease. So it expired at the end of January, and as required by Village Code, number of F licenses to be reduced by 1 based on that loss. So there's an ordinance for your consideration to accomplish that.
Mayor, might I offer a motion to approve an ordinance amending, Chapter 5.16, Title 5 of the Beach Park Village Code to modify the number of available liquor licenses.
I think you just did. I'll take
Okay.
that as a motion and a second from trustee Gus. Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Addison.
Am I allowed to vote since I got the plaque?
Still vote. This is your, make it a good one.
Aye.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we have no old business on the agenda tonight. Do we?
I have
any
some new business.
new business? Okay.
One of them, there's an eyesore on Wadsworth Road just west of Green Bay. There's a
Sure.
sign I noticed that's mangled.
Been obliterated. Yeah.
And I think we should get code enforcement right on that.
Yep. Yep. All right, Dave.
To apologize for running his sign over? Yeah.
Give them the ticket book. Well, just to enlighten, because that aforementioned sign does belong to my bride and I. A gentleman driving a pickup truck apparently decided he didn't like following the car in front of him, so he used the center turn lane to pass said car that was in front of him, and then apparently yanked the wheel back a little too hard, according to the video, and the headlights go from across the road to into the yard really quick.
Wow.
And then all the Christmas lights went out because the sign's not actually in the picture. So that's when we knew that the sign was gone. We got a call from a deputy right as he was leaving. Wasn't you, was it? Okay. And as he was leaving, and we went over and saw the carnage. And oh my
Did the
gosh.
perpetrator leave or did you?
His car was not drivable. His truck. It was a pickup truck. He was airborne for about 20 feet after he hit the
Oh.
sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, he hit the planter and launched and then came back down and hit a tree. But of course, he got a ticket for no insurance as his insurance expired in 2022.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So that falls back to the property owner's insurance, of course.
Well, maybe we could get a TIF facade grant for that.
Yeah, maybe I could get Mark to apply for it. So, yeah, that's in process, claims adjusters, et cetera, et cetera. So,
I have one item of serious business.
Yes.
And that is the Vista Hospital situation. I saw that the city of Waukegan posted on Facebook a little letter from their fire chief explaining that what they're doing as far as ambulance rerouting and not to worry and that sort of thing. And I suggested to our administrator that we echo that on our website. And to whatever degree our fire chief can, of one of the 3 departments at Surf Beach Park.
Apparently that was requested. Did you get copy to put on our website? Okay.
Not
See,
as of yet.
connect with the chief.
I have the Zion document with me.
Yeah.
You might try it again. I never got anything.
Possible closing?
And we have 2 other fire departments
Yes.
that serve our residents as well.
Yep.
Trauma status.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that's not great. And you think about the nearest trauma hospitals and you get Lake Forest and you get Libertyville, Condell, and then,
Aurora.
Pleasant Prairie.
or you
Yeah.
go up to
Well, the
Wisconsin.
challenge is, as a resident, how do you know what qualifies? I mean, if you're driving yourself, if you got chest pains or whatever, how do you know where to go if you're not calling an ambulance? Otherwise, these guys know what they're doing.
John, just
think
for
they-
future reference, if you have chest pains, you probably shouldn't drive.
I was just going to
Because
say,
you're gonna run over a
I'm
sign.
pretty sure the chief would endorse that as well. Yeah,
At least I'm insured, Mark.
good, excellent point. Yeah, that's big news. And it's got a lot of departments and providers scrambling right now, so. All right.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
That's it? Okay. Any other new business? Now it's time for citizens wishing to address the board about anything. Here comes the chief.
Thank you. Yeah. I've got a flagpole and I'm gonna buy a flag for every NFL team. And the week leading up to every weekend, I'm gonna fly the flag of whoever's playing the Packers. That way my neighbors are all just gonna love me from
Mark?
the get-go.
Don't sell your house in Illinois yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
But I did want to address the business situation. Obviously, this is affecting everyone. I did have a release that I tried to put it on our Facebook and website, but I am so IT literate.
Yeah.
that I have had some call me.
Yep.
I'm on vacation this week, so I did send one to the
Yep. Yeah, we'll get it out too.
looked at, places, Forest, Condell, or Aurora, or St. Catharines. Good thing is they do take Illinois trauma patients, there's classification differences. But yeah, we can do up to the junction. This is a little bit faster than one.
Mm-hmm.
Costs us a little bit more time. Money, just with gas.
Yep.
Further away. Please be assured that we are very gracious and with that, I did speak with someone from St. Catharines. Wisconsin is working on trying to become a different trauma center for Illinois as well. So by the end of next year, they're hopefully going to be able to take Illinois Trauma 1 patients. So again, that would be a lot better for us too.
Yep.
Because it is faster than it is trying to drive down outlet. That's great. Transport probably 30 minutes long.
Yep. Has Vista made any public announcements about their attempts to rectify this?
I heard, I think, I don't know, it's the president of the hospital was on the 10 o'clock news the other night saying that this is just a technicality and they.
Trying to reinstate the
Mhm.
Okay.
what happened there.
Level 2 was the highest,
Level 1.
and they were a level 1. Oh, so, okay, where's the level 1?
Condell.
That's the closest. Wow, not close. Yeah.
Yep. Right. Yes, they certainly have opened a door that's going to make going across the state line more attractive if it meets all the qualifications. It's,
At this point, it's still, it's
mhm. Yep. 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 Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks
Thank
for the
you.
update. All right. Well, anyone else? We've already, Diane? Tracy? Carrie?
Last chance, Diane.
Donna?
Mayor,
Well, before we adjourn, oh, wait, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to make mention of Mark. Mark vacating the position here with the village. I've had the pleasure of working with Mark for a number of years at the village level and at the county level. He's a very conscientious young man. He's an excellent inspector. He does a great job at what he does, and we're losing a good comrade and a good soldier.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully he will be present to do our inspection because he's, again, a very good inspector as well. So I just want to wish him all the best.
Thank you.
Good working with you and keep up the good work, young man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Mark. You know, you're the one light of the board that I can always depend on to make me smile.
Yeah.
And any meeting you're in, I can always count on that for you. And I've been in many, many, many public works meetings where everybody else in the room knew what was going on except me.
Except
And-
Mark. Oh.
Well, he hit it better if he didn't. But Mark is very, very generous. You know, he's generous of spirit, generous with sharing knowledge. And even if I was sure I didn't have a clue to what the topic was being talked about, I could always look to you. You would generously tell me and explain to me, and I appreciate that so much. I've learned a lot in those meetings over the years, but you know, it's learning is all about the teacher. And you were a great teacher to me, so
Definitely.
thank you so much.
Well,
I'm going to really miss you.
If we're telling Mark stories,
Oh, you're
Get comfortable.
when he was a youngster, he and my nephew were best buds, and they'd hang out together and go places. And my brother-in-law and sister-in-law had a Datsun 240Z,
Oh, boy.
which had 4 seats in it, I guess, because they went on vacation with my nephew, who's 6 foot something, 2,
Yeah.
3, and this guy in the back seat of this
He drove
Datsun.
all the way to Hilton Head Island.
This Datsun 240Z, and I got an image of this too in the back seat of that Datsun, and I still can't figure out how they got him in and out, but they did somehow.
I was a little more flexible.
It was very bendy.
He was svelte back then.
Jaws of life may have hit. So.
Very good.
And we talked to John about any potential replacements, and just to make Don happy, John is looking for someone that doesn't talk very much. Don's always at the committee meetings like, geez, this is going to be a record if you don't shut up. Meetings have gotten better since Don's harassed me.
Well, I'm not going to mention who, but you're not the one that generally drones on and on.
No, you're
There's one- there's-
you're in good hands. You'll be fine.
Thank you for all you've done for our village, Mark. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
being with you. without a
Absolutely.
doubt.
We do have that small matter of the 5-year mandatory notice prior to resignation. Yeah, well, he knew about it. He just chose to ignore it.
Yeah.
So that's $1,000 a year penalty.
Oh,
Diane,
that's going to
got the
hurt.
checkbook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we've learned we don't have a checkbook anymore.
Oh,
Through this whole house thing, whatever, we couldn't find a checkbook. Everybody's like, that's usually what young people say.
Yeah.
You guys are old.
Oh,
Not as old as Richard.
oh.
well, we do have cookies and cake and water and encourage you to stick around and share a smile with Mark here before he disappears into cheese land. And
Cheese land.
Probably eat a lot more cheese now.
yep, Yep. So we have no cause tonight for an executive session. So
Shall I make a motion to adjourn?
you may.
Oh, I beat
Oh, you better
Don.
mark that one down.
Whoa, nice.
That's, you need to change your form
Yeah, take a second.
because I know you have it in there every week.
Listen.
Yeah. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second by trustee Gus.
Yes.
Discussion?
Let there be cake.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
All right.